What is up? It is your boy Flows, and we back with another video. I know it's been 4 months since my last video, but I got my stuff straight. We is back in this bitch, yes sir. And for today we got a High School video out. And if you know me, you know High School is my favorite webtoon. It just got animated. The hype is beyond real. And I know some people might be asking with these 4 episodes out, isn't this going a little bit too fast? Is it just a show with all fights, no story? Is there anything missing? Some stuff along those lines, and I'm gonna get right into that this video, so stay tuned. Now, as some of you may know, High School came out as a webtoon in 2011 by Yohei Park. I don't know if that's how you say his name, but I'm gonna go with that for right now. It just got its anime along other big webtoon names like Tower of God, which I believe is a good watch, good read. You should go do that. And some webtoon readers such as myself have noticed slight changes within the anime and webtoon. So I'm gonna be going through chapter 1 and episode 1 up until chapter whichever it may be in episode 4 and tell you what they missed, what they left out, and what was changed. Now, looking into episode 1, they did roughly about 7 chapters. Everything's looking good. Mujin Park's on a call with important people. They got the bike chase, and when I tell you about this bike chase, they had no reason snapping this hard for a bike chase. Like, the animation was on point. Everything just looked so dope about it. When I tell you Mappa is on top with this shit, they are on top with this shit, dog. 2020 is all of them. They got Jujutsu Kaisen, Attack on Titan season 4. They're about to make that shit look live. Now, put all that to the side real quick. They added in an anime only scene with the rapper, which was a really nice touch. But the issue is, this is not how the webtoon initially started. It started out with Mori, Daiwi, and Miryu's invitation to the tournament. Now, the first 3 chapters are solely dedicated to Mori, Daiwi, and Miryu's invitation to the tournament. The first chapter was for Mori. It went over his fight record of 299 fights, 297 wins, 2 ties, and 0 losses. Now, this part was completely non-existent in the anime and went straight into the bike scene. Now, this is when a commissioner named R tries to introduce himself. He tries to get him to join the tournament, but Mori can give 2 fucks. He keeps walking, keeps singing his song, does not care at all if this dude is right in front of his face. Now, when Commissioner R shows a part of his power and interests Mori, he turns around and says, if you can defeat me, then I will join this tournament. Because all Mori wants to do is fight strong people right now. Long story short, Mori got his ass whooped. Next, it keys into Daiwi's invitation to the tournament, which was already shown in a flashback. There wasn't too much anything crazy about it. Commissioner Q came in, asked him if he wants to join the tournament. He said we can grant any one wish. He asked if we can give him $8 million. He says, that's it? If that's all you want, we can even cure your friend. And that's pretty much his motivation for joining the tournament. He wants to be able to cure his friend who's near death. Next, it keys into Miryu's invitation to the tournament, which they did not show this at all in the anime. But pretty much hers was, she was walking from school with her boyfriend when a group tries to jump him. He tells her to run away, but give it a few seconds later, she comes back with 3 niggas she beat up, then solos the niggas that he couldn't finish himself, then calls him a bad seed. Essentially, she's looking for a strong mate to inherit her sword techniques. That's when the commissioner comes to invite her to the tournament, but seeing as a girl like Miryu just decapitated a group of grown-ass niggas, it left bro a little traumatized. That's pretty much it for episode 1. Now, going into episode 2, you have Mira, Mori, and Daiwi walking home when Mori accidentally drops Mira's sword into the river. But that's definitely not how it happened in the webtoon. In the webtoon, the biker from episode 1's brother tries to jump them for revenge, and realizing they were too strong, he blew up a motorcycle, which then Mori had to tank the blast to protect Mira. But I mean, did he really lose in this situation if he got to grab her boobs? Ahaha! Now, everything is relatively the same until the climax of the Monset Gong vs Tai Chi Chuan fight. I don't know if that's how you say his name, but I'm gonna go with it for right now. But what they miss in the anime is the history of the Taekwondo that Monset Gong is using. Now, it goes like this. One day, 38 armed Northern Korean espionage agents infiltrated South Korea. 37 out of the 38 were shot dead and 1 was captured alive. The South Korean government was extremely interested in the captive's combative power, so they brought 50 skilled martial artists to fight him one-on-one. Now, when he fought them one-on-one, he seriously injured 15, left 9 unconscious, and killed 26. When asked what martial arts he practiced, he responded Taekwondo, and after that, Taekwondo was unified as one group, but over time it split into WTF Taekwondo and ITF Taekwondo. WTF was mainstream Taekwondo in South Korea, developed into a sport, while ITF was developed into a killing skill in North Korea, and this is the type of Taekwondo Monset was using during his fight that wasn't explained in the anime. Another thing they forgot to add this episode is Monset Gong, which is an average Street Fighter 3 years ago, until an unidentified assailant attacked him and it took 30 weeks for him to recover. Although he vanished while receiving treatment at the hospital, he reappeared again in front of a high school, and without warning, he entered the school and assaulted the students, either injuring or killing 300 of them, but he didn't have a single scratch on him. People assume he learned ITF Taekwondo in the year he went missing, but Monsock stays quiet about it. Another thing they forgot to add was a little bit more about Monsock's background, precisely when he was a kid, 13 years ago. It was shown that he was in an abusive household where his father was always beating his mother, but as soon as the loan sharks came to receive the money that he owed them, he would beg for mercy and ask for just one more day. Monsock realized why was he just trying to act strong in front of the weak. That's where Monsock decided he would never beg like his father. He did not want to be like his father. He would never beg, no matter how strong the person was. But fast forward, he met someone who was so strong it forced him to his knees, and he begged just like his father. He was close to committing suicide. That's when someone came and asked, do you want to be strong? And that's that person you see in the anime, and that's pretty much how it goes from there, the same way. Now, the way this fight ended off between Mori and Monsock kind of was disappointing. I mean, no, don't get me wrong, it was all the hype, like it looked dope as hell, but his triple kick that I've been wanting to see like animated for years now, it wasn't exactly how it looked in the webtoon. And I mean, it was just something small, but that's like, I'm pretty sure a lot of his fans wanted to see that kick animated correctly, which it was still cool, but comparing it to the webtoon, it was a little downplayed. But besides that, it was all straight. So episode 3 jumps into Mori versus Misan Ma. Now I know y'all know who Misan Ma is, that's that bad giant, you know what I'm talking about. But besides that, the fight goes the same way. The only difference is how it ended. As you know, Misan Ma, she was winning. I mean, she had pretty much perfect health. Mori was low. She dropped her sword and she was gonna cut her using her hands. Now in the anime, Mori succeeded in doing that and won the fight like that. But in the webtoon, she had a whole debate saying, should I risk my arm and then finish her off like that? But then she was thinking the arm should be fine for nanotechnology. She could just wish it back. And then she's like, wait, if I use my wish for that, what's the point of coming here? So she put all the scenarios together, realized that it was no win-win situation. So she literally just gave up. She rose her arm up and said, I lost, even though she had full HP and she still could have won at a risk. She said, what's the point of doing that? And she gave Mori the win. Next, it keys into Don Howie versus Big Sheagle. You know, that's definitely not how you say his name, but I'm about to go with that for right now. Now, what they forgot about this fight was Big Sheagle's backstory, and his backstory is pretty interesting. Now, Big since childhood was super intelligent. He mastered the Korean alphabet at age 3 and completed 1,000 Chinese character classic texts at age 4. He was always reading books. His dad was also a crime detective who caught and arrested bad guys with just a baseball bat. To him, he was like a hero. One day, his dad arrested a hotshot gangster, but because of a lack of evidence, they couldn't do anything about it. Obviously, his dad was extremely mad at the fact they could just let a criminal walk off like that. And sadly, a few days later, he passed away by being attacked by an unidentified man. Now, all this happened because the prosecutor couldn't find enough evidence for the criminal. Now, Bake at age 6 realized that detectives catch the criminals, but it's up to the higher ups who studied a lot to judge these criminals. So it's not power or strength that makes the world move, but knowledge. And because of this, Bake started to study. At the age of 8, he mastered 9 languages including English, Polish, French, and Macedonian. At age 9, he mastered physics, math, and chemistry. At 11, Eastern and Western philosophy. And at age 13, medical science and modern sports. After a while, he started to realize knowledge is stronger than power, but physical power is more effective in reality. And after finding this answer, he believed he attained nirvana, and he joined the tournament to test his methods and see if they were absolute. Now, some more information they missed out on episode 3 was when they detained Mori and put him in the back, it wasn't no quick, oh, you're gonna fight Q, and then if you win, you can get back in the tournament. There was way more to it. Like Mujin and the others had tried to send out a SWAT team to take out Taijin Jin, Mori's grandfather, but you know, obviously, they're not gonna fade that nigga. Pretty much the team got wiped out. I mean, they sent a bunch of fodder to try to take out a nigga who casually destroys parts of countries, but you know, we're gonna ignore that for right now. The team got wiped out. He picks up the little intercom they had on their ear, and when he talks into it, bro got shook immediately because he's talking to, you know, Taijin Jin. He then gives the piece to Mujin. They start talking for a little bit. He also gives the earpiece to Mori. As you can see, they have an amazing relationship. It's pretty wholesome between grandfather and grandson. And Mujin tries to threaten him, saying, if you want your son alive, and before he can even finish his sentence, bro, Taijin starts laughing on the phone and says, if you dare mess with him, he'll break every bone in your body. If you're ready to risk your life, then feel free to do whatever you want with my grandson. He says, hey, Mori, you there? He says, yep, I'm here. He has him, what's our friendly motto? He's like, do whatever the hell I want. And, you know, you already heard that in the anime. But After that, he hangs up immediately. Now after that is when Q comes into the room and they decide that if he fights him, he can come back in the tournament, and if he loses, he's disqualified. All that with Taijin Jin and the talk, that was before that happened, but they just didn't show it in the anime. Now you might be wondering, what's the history between Mujin Park and Taijin Jin? 17 years ago they fought. Now at the time Mujin was just 18 years old. He was a prodigy. He was also a member of the Six. Now the Six was just a group of people with extraordinary powers. At the end of the day, they could not beat him. He pretty much slapped them all around like little kids, but there was one in particular that was extremely annoying, so he took one of their arms. And the history goes just like that. 17 years ago, from the showdown between Taijin Jin and the Six, about 10% of the Korean territory was destroyed. Now y'all seen in the anime when Mori ate that fruit and he started coughing up blood and he was late to the fight? That's not how it went down in the webtoon. In the webtoon, he was forced to stay in the facility, so he never went home actually. He was forced to stay in the facility and sleep overnight over there until the fight. Now in the middle of the night, he heard a voice say, "If you hear me, come to me." He's like, what was that? Am I hearing things because of the hunger? So he starts following the sound. He starts wandering around. He comes to this door, and once it scans him, it lets him in. Now what you see there is this old man that's roped up. He's hanging, and he said, "You open that door, you must not be an ordinary boy." Now Mori being Mori, he quite literally walked right by him and didn't give him the time of day. He like acted as if he was not even there. Now the old man, trying to get his attention, said, "I'll kill any 100 people you want to if you let me free." Mori, not caring, continued to rummage through his stuff, pull out a fruit, and when asked not to eat it, he continues to eat it and then complains about it also. The old man tries to conversate with him by asking, "Look, do you even know why the god of high school is being held, and how will they make your wish come true?" He tries to bribe him by saying, "If you set me free, I'll tell you they're real," and before he can even get his sentence off, Mori interrupts him and says, "I'm tired, gotta go." After he realized nothing was working, the old man started to cry and beg for him to be set free. Mori asks, "But how?" He tells him, "If you put in this password, then I'll be set free." He asks what's the password, and the old man forgot the password. Mori tries putting in random passwords in to see if any of them are correct, and when he puts his grandfather's Taijin Jin inside, it works. He asks, "How did you know who that was, or do you know who this is?" And Mori responds, "That's my grandfather." Now as Mori turns around, the old man pierced him in his heart. He said, "What a coincidence. I didn't expect to see the flesh and blood of my old nemesis who took my arm." The old man thinks it's a shame because of his talent. He didn't expect Mori to counterattack in that moment. Thanks to that, it kept him from reaching his heart. The old man says, "Well, how long he'll live is up in the air anyway, since he ate the divine pellets. I'll leave your fate to the will of the heavens." Now everything from there is pretty much the same with how he woke up late. He was pretty much a second late to the fight. He continued the fight. The fight went the same way all the way up until the end when the Commissioner Q had used his borrowed power. He pretty much one-tapped Mori. There wasn't no chase around or anything like that. He one-tapped Mori, but it didn't just end like that. Mori got back up, and with the other commissioners holding back Q, R stepped in front and said, "The fight is over." Mori kept walking closer, and he was about to say, "I'm hungry," before Commissioner R mollywopped this nigga across the damn stage. Everybody's looking at him. He's like, he just said he's hungry, bro. Long story short, Mori finally wakes up. The old man is like, "You're extremely lucky to still be alive right now after eating divine pellets." And you see the old man with Mujin talking about the Nox making their move. Now Mujin is trying to get the Six gathered up again so they can fight against them. And now it fast forwards to Taijin, Mori's grandfather, in the forest, just doing him. And then Nox actually make their move to try to subdue him. Obviously they failed, but they were able to put a mark on Taijin, so they are coming for him. And that's how episode 3 actually ends off, if it would have shown inside the anime. Now going into episode 4, not a lot was changed. Pretty much nothing was really changed except for something slight, like the dude that wants to marry Mira, he showed his true colors to her dad. In the anime, he didn't do that. Also, her little sister was able to hear the conversation. She ran back and told her sister about it, but Mira replied she doesn't care. "I'm also not marrying him out of pure love. I'm actually glad that we're on the same page. She only wants to marry him on conditions. Promise me that you'll pay off my uncle's debts, and you'll support me in reviving my swordsmanship." In episode 4 from there, pretty much there was nothing drastic that was changed. Everything else went smoothly. And one thing I did forget about earlier on was a little fun info. Obama was actually the president earlier on in the webtoon, but in the anime they changed it to Iron Man. And with all that said, that's all the information that you need to know about between episode 1 and 4 of the anime versus webtoon. If you need me to do more videos like this on the anime, I can make this a little series. I'll do episode 5 through 9 next time, but you just let me know if you want that in the comment section. So with all that said, I'll catch y'all guys next time.